My name is Emma Harper, and I thought I had it all. A perfect husband, a perfect home, a perfect life in the heart of Los Angeles. But one night, one reckless moment in my shower changed everything. A man who wasn't my husband saw too much, and his dangerous game of blackmail pulled me into a world of secrets, desire, and impossible choices. One photo could have ruined everything, or set me free. Let me tell you how it happened. I'm 32, a marketing exec with a knack for turning brands into gold. My husband, Ethan, is a tech genius, always chasing the next big deal for his startup. We live in a Hollywood Hills mansion, the kind of place that screams success, with a glowing pool and a view of the city skyline that makes you feel untouchable. But lately, our marriage felt like that house, beautiful on the outside, hollow inside. Ethan was always distracted, his phone buzzing with calls he'd take in hushed tones, leaving me to wander our perfect life alone, craving something I couldn't name, a spark, an adventure, a reason to feel alive. That night, I was in the shower, letting the hot water wash away another empty day. Ethan was upstairs, probably passed out after his endless work calls. I thought I was alone, lost in the steam and my thoughts, until the door creaked open. My heart lurched. I called out for Ethan, but it wasn't him. It was Liam Carter, Ethan's best friend since college, a 34-year-old charmer with a reckless edge that always set me on edge. His dark hair was tousled, his leather jacket slung over one shoulder, and his eyes widened for a split second when he saw me before a smirk curled his lips. Liam. Get out! I snapped, grabbing a towel, my cheeks burning with embarrassment and something else I didn't want to admit. Ethan's upstairs. My voice was sharp, but my pulse was racing, and not just from the shock. Whoa, Emma, Liam said, his voice low and teasing, like he was enjoying this. Didn't expect this view. Thought Ethan was in here, heard the water. He didn't move, just leaned against the doorframe, his gaze holding mine through the steam, bold and unapologetic. Get out now, I said, clutching the towel tighter. But my heart was pounding and his eyes, dark, intense, dangerous, made it hard to look away. Instead of leaving, Liam pulled out his phone, the flash blinding me as he snapped a quick photo. Wonder what Ethan would think of this, he said, his smirk growing, his voice dripping with a challenge that sent a shiver down my spine. Delete that now or I scream. I stepped forward, the towel barely covering me, my voice sharp but trembling with a mix of fear and something I couldn't name. I was furious, but there was a part of me, small, reckless, that was curious. Liam raised an eyebrow and locked the door with a soft click that echoed in the quiet. Relax, Emma, let's make a deal. I keep this quiet if you hear me out. His voice was smooth, like a siren's call, pulling me towards something I wasn't sure I could resist. What do you want, Liam? I asked, stepping closer despite myself, my wet hair dripping onto the floor. Our faces were inches apart, the steam swirling around us, and for a moment, the world outside that bathroom didn't exist. His eyes held a promise, of trouble, of secrets, of something I'd been missing for too long. He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear. I know something about Ethan, something big. Help me, and this photo stays between us. His fingers brushed the edge of my towel, not touching me, but close enough to make my skin tingle, to make my heart pound like it hadn't in years. I should have screamed. I should have told him to go to hell. But something in his voice, in the way he looked at me, made me pause. What are you talking about? I whispered, barely audible over the hum of the shower. He winked, stepping back, breaking the spell. Find me by the pool tonight. We'll talk. And just like that, he was gone, leaving me alone with my racing thoughts and a dangerous curiosity I couldn't shake. Hours later, I couldn't stop thinking about Liam's words, or that smirk. I slipped into a black dress that made me feel powerful and headed to the backyard. Ethan was still upstairs, his snores faint in the distance. I should have woken him, told him what Liam did, but something stopped me. Maybe it was the boredom eating at me, the hunger for something more than my predictable life. Liam was by the pool, holding a bourbon glass, his shirt unbuttoned just enough to show a glimpse of his chest. He looked like trouble wrapped in charm, and I hated how much it drew me in. The city lights twinkled below, a symphony of possibility, and I felt like I was standing on the edge of something I couldn't come back from. "You didn't tell Ethan," Liam said, sipping his drink, his eyes never leaving mine. "Why not, Emma?" "Delete the photo, Liam," I said, crossing my arms to hide the tremor in my hands. "Or I will." He stepped closer, his cologne, woodsy, intoxicating, hitting me like a wave. "I know Ethan's hiding something. A deal with Victor Steele, his business partner. Millions gone, maybe more. Help me prove it, and the photo's gone." His fingers brushed my arm as he set his glass down, the touch sending a shiver through me, electric and forbidden. "Why should I trust you?" I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. "You're blackmailing me, Liam," he laughed, a low rumble that made my stomach flip. "Because you're bored, Emma, and I'm not Ethan." He leaned in, his face so close I could feel the heat of his breath. "You want to feel alive again." I see it. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. I wanted to push him away, to run back to my marriage, but my feet stayed rooted. "You're playing a dangerous game," I whispered, my voice trembling with what I was admitting. "So are you," he said, his hand hovering near my waist, not touching but close enough to make my pulse race. Before I could respond, Ethan's voice called from inside, "Emma?" And we sprang apart, my heart hammering like I'd been caught stealing. Liam smirked, raising his glass. "Find me later. You know you want to." He walked off, leaving me by the pool, my mind a whirlwind of guilt and temptation. Sleep was impossible that night. Liam's words echoed. Ethan's hiding something. Was it true? Ethan had been distant, always on edge, his phone buzzing with calls he wouldn't explain. I told myself I was protecting my marriage, but deep down, I knew I was chasing the thrill Liam dangled in front of me. At 2 a.m., I found Liam in Ethan's home office, rifling through papers. "Took you long enough," he said, his voice teasing like he knew I'd come. "I'm not here for you," I lied, shutting the door. "I want answers." "What's Ethan hiding?" He handed me a file, his fingers brushing mine, sending a jolt through me. "Look for yourself. Ethan's company is bleeding money, and Victor Steele's name is all over it. Shady deals, offshore accounts. Help me find proof and I delete the photo." We searched in silence, but every accidental touch, our hands brushing, our shoulders grazing, made the air feel hotter, smaller. His presence was overwhelming, his cologne mixing with the scent of old paper. I caught myself watching his hands, confident and precise, and hated how much I liked being near him. "You're good at this," Liam said, his breath warm against my ear as he leaned over to check a document. "Ever thought of ditching Ethan for someone less predictable?" I smirked, shoving a file into his chest. "Focus, Liam, find the proof." But my heart wasn't in it. Being near him felt like standing on a cliff, terrifying, exhilarating, reckless. We found a contract showing Ethan's company had lost millions in a deal with Victor Steele, with clauses hinting at money laundering. Liam's eyes darkened. "This is bigger than I thought," he said, his voice low. I grabbed his phone from his pocket, my fingers brushing his hip, a touch that sent a spark through me. "Enough games," I said, deleting the photo. "We're done." Liam grinned, stepping closer, his body inches from mine. "Are we? You liked the thrill, didn't you?" His hand grazed my wrist, slow and deliberate, and for a moment I didn't pull away. His eyes searched mine, challenging, and I felt a pull I couldn't name. Headlights flashed outside. Ethan was awake. I pushed Liam back, my heart racing. "Get out," I whispered, but my voice lacked conviction. His smirk told me he knew it. He left, slipping into the shadows, leaving me with the contract and a heart that wouldn't slow down. The next night, I couldn't stay in that house. Ethan's snores, the sterile perfection of our home, it felt like a cage. When Liam texted me to meet him outside, I didn't hesitate. Maybe I was losing my mind, but I needed to know more. Not just about Ethan's secrets, but about the man who'd turned my world upside down. We drove through Los Angeles, the city lights blurring past, pop music playing softly, the bass syncing with my heartbeat. We pulled over at a quiet lookout point, the city sprawling below, a sea of stars and neon. Liam's voice was softer than I'd ever heard it, his usual cockiness gone. "I'm not just some jerk, Emma," he said. "I'm investigating Victor, not Ethan. He's the real crook. Money laundering, fraud, you name it. I was hired to take him down. But then I saw you and—" He trailed off, his eyes searching mine, vulnerable for the first time. "You blackmailed me, Liam," I said, but my voice lacked venom. "That's not a love story," he laughed, a sound that made my chest ache. "Maybe not, but I'm falling for you. Hard." He reached for my hand, his thumb brushing my knuckles, warm and deliberate, sending warmth through me like a current. The touch woke something I'd buried, something wild and reckless. I leaned closer, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. Our faces were inches apart, his breath warm against my lips. For a moment, I forgot Ethan, forgot everything but the man in front of me. "I'm married, Liam," I whispered, but my voice wavered, my body betraying me. "I know," he said, his fingers tightening around mine. "But you're not happy." "I see it, Emma. You deserve more." I was seconds from closing the gap when my phone buzzed, Ethan asking where I was. I pulled back, my heart pounding. "I can't," I said, more to myself than to him. Liam nodded, letting go of my hand. "Your choice," he said, but his eyes said he wasn't giving up. The next morning, I confronted Ethan in our living room, the contract clutched in my hand. "Is it true?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Did you lose everything?" Ethan sighed, looking older than his 35 years. "It's Victor's fault, Emma. He's been skimming funds, hiding it in offshore accounts. I was trying to protect you." Before I could respond, Liam walked in. "I'm not after you, Ethan," he said, his voice cold. "I'm an investigator, hired to take down Victor." "But you're not innocent, are you?" Ethan's face paled. "What's that supposed to mean?" Liam glanced at me, his expression softening. "I got distracted," he said almost to himself. "But Victor's the target. He's using your company to launder money." The door slammed open, and Victor Steele strode in, a slick man in a suit with a predator's smile. "Stay out of my business, Carter," he snarled, his eyes lingering on me. "And keep your wife on a leash, Ethan." Liam stepped between us, protective. "Back off, Steele," he said, his voice low and dangerous. For a moment, I felt safe with Liam in a way I hadn't with Ethan in years. Victor smirked and left, his words a chilling promise. "You'll regret this." That evening, I stood by the pool, the LA skyline glowing at dusk. The weight of everything, Liam's photo, Ethan's secrets, Victor's threat, pressed on me. Liam found me there, his eyes softer than ever. "I'm leaving LA," he said. "Victor's going down, but I can't stay. Not after—" He trailed off, pulling a silver locket from his pocket. "This was my mom's. Keep it, Emma, if you want to remember me." I took the locket, my fingers brushing his, the touch lingering. "Your trouble, Liam," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "And you love it," he said, his smile a challenge and a promise. He set his phone on the table, a text glowing, "Call me if you're ready to run." Then he walked away, his silhouette fading into the sunset. I stood there, the locket heavy in my hand, Ethan's voice calling from inside. My marriage was safe, familiar, but it hadn't felt alive in years. Liam was danger, passion, everything I'd forgotten I craved. I stared at my phone, my thumb hovering over his number, my heart torn between duty and desire. The city hummed around me, urging me to choose. What did I do? That's where my story pauses, because what happened next turned my world upside down. A new city, a new truth, and a shadow from the past that wouldn't let me go. Should I have called Liam and chased the spark that set my soul on fire? Or stayed with Ethan to rebuild what we had? Comment below and tell me what you think I should have done. Subscribe for part 2 to find out where my choice led me and what secrets followed me into the dark.